Hey everyone, this is Mr. Cinna Hunter here. Today we're diving into an incredible action fantasy film called The Great Wall. So sit tight and let's begin this incredible journey. At the beginning of the movie, we see a desert in China where a group of foreign travelers fight off bandits on horseback. After escaping and tricking the bandits, a man named William, along with his friend Tovar and the rest of their group, moves toward a safer location. Later that night, they sit together and discuss their mission. William and a few others had originally traveled from Europe to China in search of a rare substance known as black powder, an ingredient that can turn air into fire. But the journey has cost many lives, and their food and water supplies are nearly gone. After a while, they prepare to head toward China's northern border. Tovar takes out a small piece of magnet and says it's useless to him. When William asks him to hand it over, Tovar throws it away instead. Annoyed, William picks it up himself. Just then, a creature jumps out and kills the two companions traveling with William and Tovar. Immediately, they draw their weapons, preparing to strike as soon as the creature comes into view. But the creature suddenly attacks them from behind. William reacts quickly, slashing at it and cutting off one of its arms. The creature's body then tumbles down the mountainside, and William takes the severed arm with him so he can show it to someone later and find out what he has just killed. As they continue their journey toward China's northern border, the bandits reappear and begin chasing them once again. After some distance, William and Tovar arrive in front of the Great Wall. Suddenly, Chinese soldiers fire arrows and block their way. Terrified by the soldiers, the bandits immediately flee, leaving William and Tovar with no choice but to surrender. The soldiers capture them and lead them inside the fortress. There, they take the severed hand from William and begin examining it carefully. Commander Lin of the Chinese forces then steps forward and asks where they had found the hand. William is surprised when he realizes that Lin understands English. William tells Lin that during the creature's attack, he managed to cut off its arm and kept it with him, but Commander Chen accuses him of lying. Lin questions William again about their true purpose for coming here. William explains that they traveled all the way from Europe to trade. Still suspicious, Lin orders two guards to remove the cloth covering their bodies. When the cloth is lifted, Lin notices they are both wearing military armor. Lin then suspects they might be spies and asks General Shao to sentence William and Tovar to death. At that moment, strategist Wang speaks up. He says that fresh traces of the creature's blood were found on William's sword, which proves they are telling the truth. Because of this, Wang requests General Shao not to execute them until their identities are confirmed. Just then, a soldier rushes in and informs General Shao that their kingdom is under attack. General Shao quickly orders his army to prepare for battle and commands that William and Tovar be taken to the prison. On their way to the prison, William asks Lin about the severed arm of the creature. Wang tells William that the creature he killed is called a Taote. When Tovar tries to ask Wang for more details about the Taote, Wang says nothing and leads them to the front of the prison. At that moment, a soldier named Yang loses the prison key, so Wang orders William and Tovar to climb onto the wall. From there, they watch Chinese soldiers preparing their weapons for battle against the approaching creatures. Yang then sternly orders them to sit down and remain low. As William observes, he is astonished by the strategy of the Chinese soldiers, something he has never seen before. Meanwhile, specialized squads of Chinese soldiers take their positions, each trained in different weapons to confront the creatures. Soon, the creatures arrive in large numbers, approaching close to the Great Wall. General Shao orders his soldiers to launch fireballs at the creatures. Following his command, the soldiers quickly prepare the flaming projectiles and hurl them toward the advancing monsters. Meanwhile, the archers aim for the eyes located on the creature's shoulders, since those eyes are their only weak spot. To kill them, they must strike that vulnerable point. When the creatures reach the wall and attempt to climb it, the female warriors dressed in blue leap down from above and strike fiercely. However, during these attacks, many of the women are caught and eaten alive by the creatures, resulting in heavy casualties among their ranks. At that moment, Tovar notices a European man named Ballard standing there like a sneaky thief. Calling out to William, Tovar says, He looks like one of us, so why isn't he captured? After seeing Ballard, William replies, "We'll have to make use of him. He could help us find a way to escape." Meanwhile, in the middle of the creatures, their queen can be seen, protected by several bodyguards to prevent any harm from reaching her. Wang then tells General Shao that they must attack the queen, as she is controlling all the creatures. Following General Shao's orders, the soldiers launched multiple fire projectiles at the queen, but the large creatures immediately protected her with their powerful shields. Enraged, the queen sends a telepathic signal from her head to all the creatures to climb over the wall. Receiving her signal, the creatures swarm and start scaling the wall. Seeing the dangerous situation, General Shao orders all soldiers to stop the creatures from entering the wall at any cost. At that moment, a creature climbs over the wall and starts attacking the soldiers there one by one. William then comes up with an idea and tells Yang, "If you are a brave warrior, why are you afraid? Go and fight that creature to show everyone your courage." Hearing William's words, Yang rushes forward to attack the creature, while William takes the opportunity to call Ballard and tell him to free them. Meanwhile, Yang reaches the creature and strikes it, but the creature throws him aside and moves in to kill him. Just then, William runs in with a spear, drives it into the creature's mouth, and hits its head with Tovar's shield. The creature throws Tovar aside and moves to attack Yang again, but William quickly pulls Yang away and saves him. William then begins fighting the creature directly, and with Tovar's help, he manages to stab the spear into the creature's eye, finally killing it. Just then, two more creatures climb up the wall and attack the soldiers. Tovar uses a piece of red cloth to draw the creatures toward them. William then takes the chance and shoots arrows into both of their eyes, killing them instantly. Meanwhile, the queen sends out a signal for the creatures to stop fighting and retreat. Receiving her command, the creatures halt the battle, collect the bodies of the dead, and leave. After the battle ends, General Shao approaches William and Tovar, praises their bravery, and orders the soldiers to take them to the barracks to rest. General Shao then brings Lin up to the wall and tells her that the creatures are multiplying at a very rapid rate. Therefore, they must be fully prepared for the upcoming battle. Afterwards, the two of them trim their hair and arrive at the soldiers' dining hall, where all the soldiers stand to welcome them. Lin tells them that General Shao is greatly impressed by their courage and combat skills. She then asks William to demonstrate his archery skills to everyone. William picks up a bow and showcases his remarkable accuracy, leaving the Chinese soldiers astonished. Meanwhile, since the creatures will attack again very soon, the soldiers begin preparing for the upcoming battle. At the same time, Wang takes the magnet from William and examines it, explaining that it possesses a special ability that could help them fight the creatures. William then asks Wang where these creatures came from. Wang explains that many years ago, China had a cruel emperor whose greed made life unbearable for the people. Angered by this, the gods of heaven sent an asteroid crashing into Green Mountain, creating a massive fissure from which the creatures emerged. Since then, every 60 years, the creatures attack the northern region of China. They devour anything, living or dead, before returning to their queen. The queen then consumes them and reproduces rapidly. Wang warns that if this cycle continues, a time will come when these creatures could turn every living being on Earth into their food. Meanwhile, after hearing about an attack on the west tower of the wall, General Shao and Lin rush there and find several soldiers' bodies lying on the ground. However, since the creatures usually devour their victims, they must still be lurking nearby, waiting to strike again. At that moment, they see one of the creatures approaching them. As the creature in front attacks, another one hiding behind ambushes General Shao and Lin. They manage to strike the creature in its eye, but before dying, it leaps onto General Shao and tears off one of his arms. Severely wounded, Shao appoints Lin as the new general and takes his final breath. After General Shao's death, the Chinese soldiers hold a ceremony in his honor and prepare for the upcoming battle. Wang then shows William the magnet and says he believes this magnet is the reason they were able to kill the first creature so easily. He explains that when the creatures come into contact with the magnet, they must lose their sense of hearing and become unable to communicate with their queen, which weakens them. Lin then asks, "How can we be sure the creatures really become weak when exposed to a magnet?" William replies, "We'll know if we capture one alive and test it. And since these creatures are extremely strong, they must prepare a drug with a specially designed hook, one that can pierce deep through a creature's bone and remain lodged until the drug knocks it out." Wang likes William's idea and orders the soldiers to prepare for capturing a creature. After that, Wang applies a drug mixture to the tips of several hooks so the soldiers can attach them to the creatures. But because of the thick fog surrounding the area, nothing outside the wall was visible. So the soldiers try to detect the creature's movements using a special device. Suddenly, a creature jumps up, grabs a soldier in its mouth, and carries him away. Multiple creatures then begin climbing the wall to attack. Lin orders the soldiers to deploy the blades attached to the wall to stop them. The soldiers release massive blade-like weapons from inside the wall, which strike the creatures and slice them apart as they fall to the ground. Several soldiers then climb down the wall to attack the creatures, but many of them are killed. Meanwhile, following Lin's orders, the soldiers throw drug-coated hooks at the creatures, and a few of the hooks manage to lodge in their bodies. However, other creatures quickly rush in and free the ones that are trapped. At that moment, only one creature remains caught. The soldiers desperately try to pull it up. Just then, William arrives and warns them not to pull the chain too hard, as the creature's strength could snap it. He tells them to wait until the creature loses consciousness. The soldiers then launch fireballs to block the path of the other creatures so they cannot reach the trapped one. Meanwhile, the chain is on the verge of breaking under the creature's pressure, so William climbs down the chain to secure it himself. The soldiers fire arrows at the remaining creatures to stop them from attacking William. As William reaches the trapped creature, the hook slips out of its body, but luckily, the creature has already been knocked unconscious by the drug. William quickly ties up the creature and signals the soldiers to pull it up. The soldiers then begin lifting it. At that moment, two more creatures attack William, but Tovar arrives just in time to help him fight them off. After killing several of them, William notices that the fireballs are no longer stopping the creatures. He then signals Lin to use the black powder weapons. Following William's signal, the soldiers launch the black powder weapons at the incoming creatures on Lin's command, and the blasts tear the creatures apart. Soon after, before more creatures arrive, the soldiers open the gate in the wall and rescue William and Tovar. In the next scene, the soldiers surround the captured creature, which begins trying to break out of the cage. Wang then brings the magnet in front of it, and under its influence, the creature calms down. Everyone present is astonished to see the magnet affect the creature. The king's vizier then orders that the creature be taken to the capital, but Wang objects, arguing that the creature still needed further experimentation. However, since the vizier is following the king's orders, he takes the creature to the capital. Meanwhile, upon hearing that the creatures are about to attack, the soldiers prepare for battle. Seizing this opportunity, Ballard and Tovar plan to steal black powder and escape. At the same time, the soldiers discover a tunnel beneath the wall and realize that the creatures have been using it to enter the wall with ease. On the other hand, Ballard and Tovar reach the armory, blow open its door with a black powder bomb, and begin stealing the weapons inside. Hearing the explosion, William arrives at the scene. Tovar tells him that they have obtained what they came for and urges him to escape quickly. But William insists that he will help the Chinese in the battle and cannot leave them in danger. Tovar then asks William how he expects the Chinese to survive against such ferocious creatures and urges him to leave while there is still time. However, William remains determined to fight alongside them. At that moment, Ballard throws a heavy object at William, knocking him unconscious, and the two make their escape. Meanwhile, the vizier brings the creature to the capital. He then removes the cloth covering its cage and shows it to the king. Seeing the creature up close for the first time, the king is astonished. At the same time, the soldiers arrest William for looting the armory and bring him to Lin. William insists he hasn't stolen anything, explaining that Tovar and Ballard were the ones who took the weapons and escaped. Lin, however, refuses to believe him. Just then, Yang arrives and tells Lin that William did not steal anything and was actually trying to stop Ballard and Tovar, which he witnessed from a distance. Lin remains silent for a moment, then orders the soldiers to imprison William. on Lin's orders. The soldiers take William to prison. Meanwhile, Ballard and Tovar escape the kingdom and stop in a desert area. When Tovar walks ahead to look for a path, Ballard takes the chance to flee with the horses carrying the black powder. At the same time, the soldiers set out for the capital in airships after receiving news that the creatures are entering through the tunnels to attack there. Meanwhile, Yang frees William from the prison. William then goes to Wang and asks why fires are burning everywhere. Wang tells him that the soldiers have failed to stop the creatures from breaching the walls. As a result, the creatures are now rushing toward the capital to launch an attack. William then asks if there is any way to stop them. Wang replies that there is one way, but it is extremely difficult. If the creature's queen can be killed, the rest of them will collapse. However, this task is nearly impossible because the queen is so heavily protected that not even the strongest weapon in their kingdom can reach her. This means their deaths are inevitable. So, Wang tells William to take whatever he needs and leave immediately. He must return to his people and tell them what he has witnessed and what danger awaits the entire world. But William still decides to help the Chinese in the battle. He asks Wang to prepare an airship for him so he can reach the capital and join Lin. Meanwhile, the vizier tries to remove the magnet from the unconscious creature so he can awaken it and show it to the king. When the creature wakes up, it pushes the vizier, causing the magnet to fall far away from his hands. This frees the creature from the magnet's influence. It then signals the queen, who learns the capital's location and rushes there with her forces. At the same time, the vizier manages to retrieve the magnet and throws it at the creature, calming it once again. Meanwhile, a group of pirates loot all of Ballard's weapons and take him captive. While the pirates celebrate with the stolen weapons, a black powder bomb accidentally ignites and explodes, killing Ballard and all the pirates. On the other hand, Lin and the soldiers reach the capital by airship and find the creatures causing massive destruction throughout the city. When the soldiers shoot arrows at them, one of the creatures swoops down, bites a soldier from above, and kills him. Suddenly, another creature bursts through a building and attacks Lin. As Lin tries to defend herself, a second creature leaps in, knocks Lin and the remaining soldiers out of the ship. After they fall to the ground, two creatures rush toward Lin. A soldier tries to save her but ends up being devoured. At that moment, several more creatures surround Lin from all sides. William arrives just in time and pulls Lin upward with the help of a spear. When the creatures try to grab her from below, Lin takes a black powder bomb from William and throws it at the creatures, blowing them apart. William then pulls Lin up, and together they see the queen busy eating, with other creatures standing guard around her. Wang explains that the creatures will not attack while their queen is feeding, so this is their only chance to strike and kill her. Just then, their ship crashes into a building and gets damaged, forcing everyone to land on the ground. Royal soldiers quickly capture the four of them and bring them to the king's palace. The king steps out from behind the throne and asks why they failed to stop the creatures from entering the capital. Wang then tells the king that they must use the captured creature to kill the queen. Afterwards, they all devise a plan. Following Wang's strategy, the soldiers attach several black powder bombs to the unconscious creature's body and lead it into a canal. Once inside, they notice several creatures running above them. To avoid being detected, everyone moves forward silently. But the sound of the soldiers walking through the water alerts the creatures. As a result, the creatures grab Yang and the soldiers from above. Before the creatures can strike Yang, William quickly throws a shield and saves him. When they reach Yang, they see that he has been seriously injured by the creature's attack. Since they plan to return for him later, they leave Yang behind and move to another part of the canal. Once there, they begin unlocking the chains on the unconscious creature's body. At that moment, several creatures enter the canal and attempt to attack them. Before the creatures can reach them, Yang detonates the black powder bombs attached to his body, killing himself along with the attacking creatures, leaving the three of them heartbroken. Afterward, Wang opens the canal gate and removes the magnet from the creature. As soon as the magnet is taken away, the creature wakes up. Seeing the three of them in front of it, the creature becomes aggressive. However, because Wang holds the magnet up to it, the creature is unable to move toward them. The creature then begins eating the raw meat placed there. William asks Wang if he's sure that this creature will be allowed to reach the queen by the larger ones. Wang replies that he can't say for certain, but since the creature has eaten a lot, there's a chance it will be allowed to approach the queen. After finishing its meal, the creature heads outside. The three of them follow and see a bodyguard creature inspecting the one they had sent. After checking it, the bodyguard allows it to the queen without suspicion. At that moment, another creature spots the three of them, forcing them to rush back into the canal and shut the door. The creatures then begin trying to break it down. Wang tells William and Lin to climb up and attack the queen while he stays behind to hold the creatures off. When William reaches the top, he sees the queen still busy eating. Seizing the opportunity, he fires an explosive toward her. But before it can reach the queen, the bodyguards block it with their shields. Realizing she has been attacked, the queen looks upward. William and Lin quickly close the canal window before she can see them. The queen then orders her creatures to search for the attacker and resume eating. Meanwhile, the creatures manage to break into the lower canal. Before dying, Wang throws the magnet up to William, and the creatures kill him mercilessly. Without wasting a moment, William fires another explosive at the queen before the creatures can climb up. But again, the large creatures block it with their shields. This time, the queen sees William and becomes enraged, commanding all her creatures to attack him. Following her signal, the creatures begin climbing the tower where William and Lin are hiding. William has only one explosive left. As the creatures climb closer, William and Lin jump off using a rope. William then throws the magnet toward the queen, and Lin immediately launches the final explosive along with it. The explosive lands on the creature covered in black powder beside the queen. When the queen tries to stop it, a massive explosion occurs, killing her and all the nearby creatures. William and Lin then crash into a building. As William is about to fall, Lin grabs his hand and saves him. Meanwhile, with the death of the creature's queen, all the creatures are destroyed, and the Chinese emerge victorious in the bloody war that has lasted for thousands of years. In the final scene, William visits the imprisoned Tovar. Tovar mockingly says, "You've become a hero for the Chinese. So, what have they offered you in return for your help?" William replies that the Chinese will allow him to take as much black powder as he wants and will provide an army to escort him all the way to Spain. Tovar responds, "That's quite impressive. So, have you come to joke with me before leaving?" William replies, "The king gave me a choice between you and the black powder, and as a friend, I chose you." At that moment, Lin comes and tells William that even though he chooses Tovar, the king is pleased and has allowed them to take some black powder with them. Lin then asks William to stay in their kingdom, but William explains that his family and people are waiting for him, so he must return home. Hearing this, Lin feels a bit saddened. William then bids farewell to Lin and sets off for his homeland. And this is how the story of this wonderful movie comes to an end. So, what do you guys think about this movie? Let me know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed the video, please hit like and subscribe for more awesome content. I'll see you guys next time.